Hello, dear friends. This is Lady Sylvia, and I just want to say how much I missed you all. I've been traveling, and I went to Europe, and I went to Spain, to Italy and France, and it was an incredible journey, and I really have so much to tell you guys. I missed you all so much. When I got back from my trip, I was a week home, and then I had to fly to New York and New Jersey to attend my niece's wedding, which was phenomenal. I've never seen a wedding like that in my life. And it was really beautiful. And then we visited the Met Museum, and we visited like the Hudson River Museum. It was the weekend of July 4th, so a lot of museums were closed. But it was a really wonderful trip too. But when I came back home, I came home with a very bad head cold. And of course, those kind of things for people who have asthma like me, they turn into bronchitis. So I hope I don't cough during this video, but I wanted to make a video because I really missed you guys so much. And in front of you is a 18th century rosary of gilt wire and silver. And the beads are very old. They are sort of a iridescent glass. They're very beautiful. And I bought this at the flea market just outside of the Cathedral of Barcelona when we were there. And I have to tell you, if you ever go to Barcelona, you got to go to the Gothic Quarter. It isn't, there's a famous place called La Ramblas, and that's basically under construction. It's all torn up now, but that isn't really what I'm recommending. That's really a bunch of tourist traps and pickpockets. But the Gothic Quarter where we stayed, and we actually stayed in an 18th century hotel that the facade is 18th century, but the inside has been modernized. It has an elevator, and the rooms were beautiful. But the Gothic Quarter is truly magical. I cannot stress every turn down these narrow streets, you felt as if you were walking in another time. Like many parts of Europe, there's a lot of tagging, there's a lot of graffiti, but outside of that, the buildings are just phenomenal. I cannot tell you how incredible a time we had. It isn't about learning to speak Spanish, because many of the places do speak English, but I cannot tell you what it's like to sit in the sun in a plaza surrounded by old buildings and just Gothic structures with old balconies and gargoyles. It was just absolutely stunning. Everywhere you looked was one more interesting and amazing. Streets are like super narrow and just beautiful lamps. I was just, every other day was just absolutely marvelous. We had 2 days before we boarded the cruise, and we just had such a wonderful time. And if you want to see some of those pictures, just let me know, and I will try to hook my iPad so that I could film this with my iPhone, and I'll be happy to show you. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. And the strangest thing, okay, Barcelona is totally different. Like, let's say Madrid or other parts of Spain. And these people are Catalonian. They fly a different flag. They're very proud people. They have a completely mind-blowing history. They're very proud people. Their celebrations and festivals are unbelievable. We stumbled into a parade of just, I have to show you those videos if you want to see. Oh my God, you won't believe the things we saw. And their culture and their ideas are, a lot of Spain is devoutly Catholic, but there's sort of a mix of strange paganism, and it's just insanely wonderful. And I had to go researching all this because I was like, the day after, I think it was June 22nd when we filmed the parade. The second day, June 23rd, was the day of St. John the Baptist. And there was fireworks all night. There was apparently they said there's bonfires all over the beaches. And that's all not just, like July 4th kind of crap. It's no. It is midsummer night. And the belief goes back to the ancient days that you light the bonfires to keep the last rays of the sun, the fire of the sun, from dying. So it's all related. The bonfires, the fireworks, it has nothing to do with like July 4th. It was just absolutely, even though, the fireworks stopped after around 1 or 2 p.m., a.m., but it was absolutely amazing. And they have beliefs that are totally different than, you could travel to Madrid or Seville. It's not the same. I cannot tell you. I could talk about it more in another video if you'd like, but believe me, it is mind-blowing. And I'd love to come back on, I think it's around April 23rd is the day of St. George. And they strew the whole place with roses and books. And there's this whole thing about the story of St. George and the roses and oh my God. Every time you look, you see a different thing. We walked into a bookstore that had books going back to like the 1600s. Unbelievable. My mind was blown. Those of you who love history and love learning will find fascinating things at every corner. We walked into a building not knowing what the hell it was, and in the back they had a whole display of clothing totally made out of paper that is like a Catalonian thing. Unbelievable. I will show you if you want to see it. It's absolutely mind-numbing for those of you who love fashion. I'm not a big fashionista, but geez, I could definitely appreciate the time and effort it went to produce these phantasmagorical costumes out of all paper. Some bead trim, but all paper. Anyway, so we went to visit the Cathedral of Barcelona. Oh my God, you have to get tickets, but it's well worth it. The cathedral is dedicated to Saint Eulalia, and there's a legend about her keeping 12 white geese. So when you go into the courtyard and the cloisters, oh my God, when you get there, you won't believe your eyes. It's so beautiful. They still keep 12 white geese. So anyway, it's just mind-blowing. Anyway, so we leave the church, and we come outside, and boom, there's a flea market. I didn't even see that when we first walked into the church. There's a flea market set up at the foot of the church. They had antiques that would just blow you away if you're into antiques and jewelry. And oh my God, I wish I brought a lot more money. Because things were, to us in the United States, 18th century jewelry and priceless things, to me, were priced really awesomely well. But I just wasn't prepared for that kind of thing. But I'm telling you, it was amazing. This cross is gilt wire and sterling wire with this beautiful iridescent glass, very primitively cut. It's a long rosary, big rosary. Obviously, you think about how many centuries, this has been prayed on, and the times that it went into that cathedral. It's just absolutely beautiful. There's the M for Mary, and I just thought it was absolutely amazing. And look at even the little stations are beautiful. And I'm also going to say, and I bought some other pendants. Let me bring them out. But I want to tell you something. That if the Catalonian people, Barcelona, my father's family is apparently from there. My grandparents, who were blonde and blue-eyed. I'm not blue-eyed, but I have green eyes, and I was born blonde. Apparently were from there. So I was mystified to learn all these connections. Anyway, so I went in there and I went to the flea market. I didn't know what to do. I was so overwhelmed. And but I found this bronze. This is bronze. I just fell in love. I didn't know who this Virgin Mary was. I put it on this old chain, but I didn't know who she was. I just fell in love with her. So I put her on my Facebook page, and my Spanish friends from Spain told me that she is the Lady of the Pillar. I didn't even notice she was standing on a pillar. And that she's the patron saint of Spain and the patron saint of all Hispanics. And her shrine is in the cathedral of the city of Zaragoza, Spain. And I'd love to see that. And these beautiful background must be the city of Zaragoza. I absolutely fell in love with her and had to have her. She was 30 euros. This magnificent rosary, one similar to this sold for 400 and something in America. And this one I got for 90 euros. I couldn't believe it. And then I found this gilt bronze Immaculate Conception, and I got that for 30 euros. So I really loved that. And then walking around Barcelona, we came upon the store of Mallorca pearls, and I bought this. This is on a heavy steel gauge. They're very lustrous. Believe it or not, those are man-made pearls. They're not real. They're very beautiful, though. I wanted something from Mallorca Jewelry Company because this comes from Spain. But then when we went to off the coast of Spain, we visited two islands. Ibiza, which is a party island. I don't really recommend that place. We went up into the away from the party town. I think we went to a city called Saint Gertrudis, and that was pretty nice. It was okay. But the next day we went to an island called Palma de Mallorca, and they're instituting new rules. They don't want a lot of cruise ships because the people get rowdy and disgusting, and I think, a lot of people forget that you're in another country, you're in a very Catholic place. People don't want to see nudity. They don't want to see you with your thong bathing suit walking up and down the streets or bare feet. It's their town, it's their place. It's not right. It's very disrespectful. My mother never raised me that way. And even when I had a great body, I would never, ever be walking around in my bathing suit, and especially with a thong. But you would be surprised. You'd see these tourists, they're just like shameless, and drunkenness and stuff. So a lot of these towns, after we left, I think it's Palma de Mallorca has instituted a rule that they don't want cruise ships of more than 2,500, I think. They're limiting the amount of cruise ships that can land on their island. But anyway, we went up into the mountains, and there was a town called Valdemosa, and it dates back to the time of the Arabs who dominated Spain for 700 years. And Val means valley, and Demosa is Arabic for the town of the mayor. And it's absolutely insanely beautiful. It's like stepping back into the 1600s, 1500s. The cobblestone streets and all the buildings are limestone, and they're very deep inside, to keep the cool from it was very, very hot out there. and beautiful, beautiful, stately trees shading the main walkway. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. We went into a store called Arcadia, like the orchid, and my husband spotted this beautiful freshwater Baroque pearl necklace. This is all natural, and these Baroque formations, they almost look like shooting stars, you know, like little flames coming out of them. I don't know, they're very strangely beautiful. And the nacre is natural in these. This is like gold, pink, peach, gray, lavender. Oh my God, this is such a beautiful, and they're all well over 20 millimeters, and it comes on a sterling, big sterling. I mean, this is a heavy necklace, and absolutely stunning. I couldn't believe it. It was a gift from my husband, and it came in this beautiful, beautiful shell-shaped box. Oh, I almost knocked over my camera. Let me straighten that out. But anyway, it came like that. Just beautiful. He's so kind. And so anyway, then we went to, Florence. No, we went to Rome first. And oh my God, the heat. It was so deadly hot. You know, and now they made this new rule. When we were there 17 years ago, the buses parked very close to the main attractions. For example, like the Colosseum, or you know, major attractions in Rome, St. Peter's Basilica. But no, they can't park there anymore. So we had to park far away and walk all the way to these attractions. They're cobblestone streets, up and down, crazy traffic. You have to be very, very careful crossing the street. Mobs of tourists. You have to have your wits about you. They warn you about pickpockets and stuff like that. But it was a little bit disappointing in that our tour guide was walking very fast. I had my cane with me, but I'm doing much better now that I've lost those 60 pounds. I kept up with everybody, but there were still many people who were older than I am and were having difficulty keeping up. And I felt really bad about that. And we kept telling the tour guide to slow down, but he kept marching along, and I'm talking masses and masses of people. So we saw the Colosseum. Again, I can show you all that in my next video if you wish to see that. And then we went to see several different sites, the Forum, blah, blah, blah. Sites I've seen before, so I wasn't upset that we couldn't get that close to things. And you know, it was really, 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 really difficult for many, many people. We did go to the Trevi Fountain. I hadn't been there 17 years ago. I don't recall going to the Trevi Fountain. I think we just went to St. Peter's. But the Trevi Fountain was beautiful, but massively, massively overcrowded with tourists. We actually got lost. 7 of 8 of us could not find the tour guide. We were stuck. We didn't know. I'm telling you, you couldn't turn left, you couldn't turn right, you didn't know which way was up. And we left them some really negative, because they're never supposed to lose the people in the tour. So anyway, we ended up, one of the ladies luckily had WhatsApp, and she had the WhatsApp number for the tour guide, and she actually had to come back and find us. And there was an elderly gentleman. We were very worried about him because we couldn't find him. But he must have taken a cab back to the cruise ship because he didn't show up. We found out he was found. But it was just madness. I don't recommend that. That was unfair. That was not nice. Abandoning us. We were all terrified. You know, we didn't know where to go. You know, there's many different streets, and all of them are crowded, and no one knew what to do. It was very terrifying. that was not nice. And I've never had a tour guide abandon the tour group, as many as 8 of us, and not turn back and make sure that all of us were together. And then we went to Pisa, where the Leaning Tower was. That was very beautiful. Again, they drop you off far away. You have to walk the rest of the way. Oh my God, the heat. And you're walking on cobblestones. You have to be careful where you're stepping. You know, you can't believe how hot it is. So if you didn't bring water, you're going to regret it, which we didn't bring water. So we had to buy some water. But anyway, it was a great, other than that, it was great, you know, historically and all that stuff. I always love history. And then we went to Cannes, France. Now, Cannes is just an overblown seaside town with lots of super expensive villas by the ocean. I didn't care for Cannes at all. And I didn't care for the French attitude. It was like, you know, we walked up, nobody will let you use the restroom unless you buy something, which is fine. I was willing to buy, you know, lunch or coffee. They don't speak English. They, you know, you sit down, they have chairs out there. You go to sit down, and then they walk up to you and say, we're closed. It's like, well, you should have a sign that says you're closed, you know. That was weird. That was really, really weird. I didn't care for France at all. But the rest of the time, the boat went back to Barcelona. So we stayed another 2 days in Barcelona, had a wonderful time our last 2 days. And I highly recommend Barcelona. And before I go off on anything else, I wanted to tell you, if you're interested in learning about the beautiful stories, just a mystical, wonderful story about the old Barcelona, I would highly recommend this book. It's called The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón, Z-A-F-O-N. Shadow of the Wind. Oh my God. You get wrapped up in this beautiful story, and it just takes you away. I was reading it on the airplane. I couldn't put it down. And there's a series of books he wrote before he died, and it's absolutely incredible. It just beautiful, beautiful characters and people that take you so far away. It's just absolutely beautiful. But it's about Barcelona and the struggles of Barcelona during the time of Franco, who was an insane maniac, and murdered he murdered millions of Barcelonians because they protested against that type of government, that fascist government. Terrible. But anyway, so I'll show you. I had this cross for 20 years. I didn't know what to do. So I finally, something came to me, and I said, I'm going to make a necklace with chenille stitch with red glass and gold. And then I put a magnet clasp with jewels. And I thought of, the reason why I thought of this, because in Florence and Italy, you see a lot of these antique crosses with gemstones. This is, of course, not real, but still very beautiful. And when I got back, I started working. I had to finish this. And then I had made this. I don't know if I showed you guys this piece I found in Phoenix. And then I made this pearl necklace for it. This is another gilt bronze piece that is reversible. And there's the Virgin Mary in the back. And I made this beautiful pearl necklace for it. And it's got a gold-filled toggle clasp. And I made this piece. This is another piece I found that in my trip to Phoenix. This cross. Let me see if I can zoom in on it a little better. And see the dove for the Holy Spirit, the Virgin Mary, Jesus. It's a very, very beautiful cross. I didn't know what to do with it. And I think it's a Coptic cross. And then I just decided to make a chain out of these muted purple beads in chenille stitch with a twisted rope clasp. So I finally got down to business of fixing all this jewelry. I really love her. This is gilt bronze of the Immaculate Conception. And this is my diamond cut 14 karat gold piece that I think we bought that in Maui before it burned down, the town of Lahaina. But I just love her. And then this piece, this is Ethiopian opal, and I think this is like that green snail shell. It's really, really iridescent, super major iridescent. So this is sterling note card holder, and the pages are celluloid, and I think it hung on a chatelaine because it says sterling right there, but it's two-sided. Look at how beautiful. But I realized that it goes beautiful with the Ethiopian opals because of that yellow iridescence. Kind of matches that, don't you think? And I got the Ethiopian necklace from my friend Anna at Vintage Jewelry Galore, and I thank her for that. I think it's very beautiful. That really came out nice. I've had that for a while. I didn't even think of what to do with that. I made this piece a while ago. That's bone. This is a bronze moth that's overlaid with the pearl. This is a beautiful bead embroidery and on leather. And then I made this chain. Now this is cubic right angle weave, but what I did was, and I like the mix of beads, but what I did was I interspersed pearls. I went through sector, wove that section, and then pearl. And anyway, I just decided to, because the pearls kind of capture the, you know, the beauty of the bone and the pearls in the piece itself. And that's a Swarovski crystal. So then I made this when I got back. This bracelet is prismatic right angle weave with 4mm fire polish, and then I wove the pearls with the prismatic right angle weave as well, and then back to the 4mm. And this will fit a larger wrist. This is a good 7.5, almost 8-inch. But you know, not everybody's got small wrists like I do, so I have to make some that fits my other friends. Anyway, my friends, I don't want to keep you too much longer. I will do a video, if you want me to, about the trip and show you some of these magnificent sites. But I also want to show you a video of how I store some of my jewelry and what's inside these containers there. So I'll say goodbye for now, and I'm so glad to be back. I'm getting better. Thank God my husband is a doctor. He's watching over me, and I cough so hard. Thank God I didn't cough at all during this video. And I know that you guys care about me, and I want you to know I'm okay. And every day, you know, is a gift, and I'm very grateful. I have my hummingbirds, and I have my little birds. I was so glad to get home to San Diego, to this warm, beautiful weather. It's not too cool, not too hot. And oh, so you know, I'll take you really quick for a little visit. Let me just stand up. Hold on. Okay, so don't mind the house. A lot of things are still boxed up. But okay, so if you remember, this was a open air room between the two parts of the house. Well, they closed it up. They put in 2 skylights. The glass and French doors are put in. And look who's taking it over, my cats. Well, they might as well, because the tile from Mexico has not arrived. Those are the boxes of the Saltillo tiles, but they can't be put in until the trim tiles, which are hand painted from Mexico, they're stuck somewhere in customs, who knows. So I decided, you know, the cats love the heat, they hate air conditioning. So I decided to put their stuff out. I brought some chairs so I could be out here with them. This is going to be a wonderful room for my parrot, Bugsy. And I'll take you a little closer. I have to watch my steps so I don't fall. So look, this room, how beautiful. Look at this view. So here's this naked kitty who doesn't give a crap. This is her little space. That's Nayeli. I love you, baby. And then lazy shenanigans is Danny. Look at how relaxed she is. She's like, thanks, Mom. We really love our little toys. Well, you guys are gonna have to move your toys once the men get here to finally put this floor in. But we really love this room. What a view. It's gonna be so beautiful. It's gonna be very Moroccan. We've decided we wanted a very Moroccan room. We even went out to Los Angeles and we bought a Moroccan chandelier, which is in that corner there, and all the lighting kit for it. And my husband's gonna have it hooked up to Alexa, so you could say, you know, Alexa, turn off the light, blah, blah, blah. So that's really gonna be fun. But anyway, look at that Moroccan table. We found that in Los Angeles. Look at this table. Oh my God, I love it. So that's gonna go in Bugsy's room. It's gonna be all Moroccan style. We're really looking forward to, really, you could tell we got very influenced by the Spanish culture and the Islamic culture in Spain. So anyway, my friends, I will say goodbye for now. God bless you all. I really missed you and wish you well. And let me know what you'd like to see. I can unbox that jewelry or I can show you some of my travel vlog. Take care. Bye-bye.